South Korea's president be like, the risk I took was calculated, but man, I am bad at math.
The South Korean president declaring martial law in a late-night TV address. CNN's Mike Valerio joining us now from Seoul. Mike, I know the detail pretty sketchy at this point. What do we know?
Well, we have disturbing details that are just crossing the Reuters wire, Becky, as our colleagues and team of journalists are sorting through what this means. Reuters reporting at this hour that all media in South Korea are coming under the control of martial law command in
That's crazy. Yeah, where's Johnny Somali?
South Korea. What that means for us here at CNN, unclear.
Somebody says President Yoon became Jong Yoon. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, this guy's probably done.
Broadcasting from the heart of Seoul, South Korea.
Oh, God.
But protesters, according to information that is just coming into our bureau here, are being told by law enforcement that they can be arrested without any warrant in this new chapter of martial law that has begun just about an hour.
They just put you in jail for no reason.
So to bring our viewers up to speed, what exactly we're dealing with here, the president of South Korea, Yoon Suk-yeol, comes on TV in an unannounced address to the nation and says, Becky, because of what he described as elements of government that are, from his view, sympathetic to North Korea, to communist forces, because of those things and others, he is declaring martial law for the first time since this country has been ruled by military dictatorship in the 1980s. Now,
man, bro, he's bringing it back. So he just randomly comes up. He's like, guys, I got something for you. Hold up real quick.
We are trying to sort through what this means for democracy in this bastion of democratic rule in East Asia. I live about just a couple minutes away from where we're broadcasting from. There are police, Becky, who are on their phones, calling their captains, calling their colleagues, asking, what are they to do? What does this mean? What is going on in the building that I live in? And when you're just walking through the streets, there are people who are running to their families' homes to be with them, to figure out what to do to be close to loved ones in this moment that is unprecedented.
There's no way there isn't. This isn't. Look, this guy, anybody who ends up being like the prime minister or president or whatever of a country, they're not stupid. You might disagree with them and they might communicate like an idiot, but they're not stupid people. What's the end game here? Because I feel like this has to be a smokescreen for something. It does. It has to. There's got to be something else that's going on here. I don't know. There's got to be.
So many of our memories. So Yoon Suk-yeol, the president of South Korea, did not lay out what specifically he wants to do with these martial law provisions. We're waiting for some sort of text that outlines
just do whatever he wants to do.
Powers he says he will have. But from the information that is trickling out, the leader of the Democratic opposition party, Jong Yoon, is saying, there's no way this can fly. And paraphrasing what he's saying as we're taking in all this information back.
Yeah, I would assume
this is an illegal move, Jong Yoon, the opposition leader, says, and this has to be canceled. So lawmakers are streaming to Parliament, but we are also seeing reports of activity at Parliament being declared illegal as well.
That's good.
Because
you can put the people that don't, the other politicians disagree with you, put them in jail. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's probably that's smart, right? I mean, because that way you don't have to deal with it.
Martial law regulations that apparently
don't agree with me equals jail.
Effect.
Yeah, exactly.
So to say that this is unsettling would absolutely be the understatement of the evening here at 11:42 p.m. local time on a Tuesday night. There are whole multitudes of people across the city who are stunned and are trying to figure out how an unpopular president made this move and what is going to happen next.
That's insane.
And what this means for democracy here in South Korea, Becky.
Stand by. I'm going to let you go just for the moment because I'm sure.
Well, it's not going to mean shit. Like, I mean, everybody thinks this guy's just a fucking idiot. Everybody voted against him. This shit's going to get overruled in like probably a few hours, and then everything's probably going to go back to normal. Like, that's probably what's going to happen, right? I mean, let's be honest. It already did. Yeah. So, I mean, fuck.
Wisely bringing in more information to CNN. Yeah. Thank you for the time being. I want to bring in Kenneth Choi, the international editor for the Korean newspaper, the Chosun Ilbo. It's good to have you. How do you assess what is going on and why?
What the fuck?
Well, actually, a lot of people are dismayed. I've been in close communication with a lot of people, journalists and friends in political circle. Actually, everybody's flabbergasted. Don't know what's going on right now. We understand why the president made his call the way he did it, but it's absolutely stunning. It seems like he hasn't informed a lot of people, even inside his circle. So there's a lot of confusion going on. The opposition party has filed yeah, go ahead.
That's nuts.
Yeah, sorry, let me just be quite clear. You said you understand why the president did this, made this decision.
Why you do it?
Can you explain what that is? Why specifically do you believe that he has declared martial law, and who are these sort of communist elements that
Can women vote in Korea? Yeah, okay.
Is talking about wanting to purge?
Well, he is frustrated because the opposition party, which controls about almost 2/3 in the parliament, has impeached like 18 of his cabinet ministers level, impeached the prosecutor general, so they are impeaching everybody, and then the opposition party cut down like almost $4 billion in the budget. Yeah. Government budget. So he believed that the opposition party is trying to shut his government down, and he believed that or the leftist element from the North Korean agents or whatever has penetrated into this movement.
What a surprise!
They are sort of inciting all these instability. I'm not sure whether this is deemed necessary to have a martial law. That's a secondary question, but when I said I understand
why. Isn't this the incel president?
Because he's frustrated.
I don't know.
I'm not sure whether that's justified, because even the president of the ruling party said he would try to stop this. So right now there's a lot of confusion going on.
That's insane.
The martial law committee chair, I guess whoever it is, has declared that no political activity is allowed from now on.
Just no more. That's a good idea. Yeah, just no more. There'd be a lot of people in my stream that would be happy about that. Yeah, we're done with politics. Like, yeah, we already listen. Everything's fine. Let's just move on. We got other things to think about. Yeah.
I think, as you said, the very essence of our democracy is probably come to a halt. I don't know whether it's a price we should pay. So a lot of people right now, it's middle of the midnight, so people are confused, still watching what's being sort of played out.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a lot of legal aspects into this that needs to be taken care of. First, the president declared martial law, but the parliament can override this.
Yeah, of course.
And if the parliament requests, with a simple majority, to
and so they did. So there was a simple majority. The simple majority was every single person in the entire parliament, and there was not a single person outside of this voted against it. It was 190 to 0. Yeah, like this guy's having he's having a really bad day. Oh, they have 300 members? Oh, okay.
The martial law back into the cabinet, then he has to follow through.
Well, still a simple majority.
Will he, or does he bind to follow through, or does he just continue to declare martial law? It still remains to be seen. So a lot of people are very, very confused at this time of hour.
Wow.
You said a lot of people are confused.
Yeah, like
it is
what
obviously
the? Yeah,
very late
I feel
at
like
night.
this came out of nowhere. I never heard anything about this. Like, it's not like I keep up with Korea's politics, but I mean, I had no idea anything like this was even like theoretically going to happen.
This announcement was made on live television at 10:30 at night. Can you explain why you believe that the president might have made this decision to go live with this so late in the evening?
Everybody's asleep.
Why not wait until tomorrow?
He can take over overnight.
Is there any understanding as to whether he thought, you know, leaving this until the morning would have been a risk?
I have no idea, to tell you the truth. I don't know why he chose this time of the day to declare martial law. To me, and a lot of people that I talk to think that I'm not sure whether he has thought through this whole procedure at this moment.
Yeah, I feel like this is a bit of a miscalculation. I mean, I just can't believe that, though. I can't believe that, like, this is something that, like, even a high schooler would know this is probably not a good idea, right? So, like, whenever I see somebody doing something that doesn't make sense, and I don't think that the person is stupid, I always think that there's something else that's going on that I'm not aware of. You know what I mean?
You know, the police are in confusion. The military is not mobilized at all.
Protecting his wife? Yeah, something like that,
I
right?
just looked out the window.
I easily see that.
The traffic is still going on without any, problems. So, and then, the martial law committee just declared that no political, association is allowed. But that's just the words. You know, there's no.
No, they went hard on COVID. I remember because there was this one, this Korean girl that I would talk to all the time, and I asked her like what it was like in COVID, and they said that they would go and what do you call it? Like they would be able to like watch your phone, and they would send you notifications on your phone that you had to respond to like geolocate you. Now, this girl was a loser. She's a super loser. And she didn't do anything. Like, she sits in her house all day. So, like, this literally did not affect her at all. But, like, she was telling me about it. Yeah, they did some crazy stuff.
Physical movement by the military or police. So, it's really a puzzling thing. I don't know why he chose this time of the night. I mean, declaring martial law and putting everybody, on their toes. So it's a good question.
That's nuts. Holy shit. What is this? Oh my God. How can the Associated Press not get that? How can y'all not get this right? There's one speaker and there's another speaker. How can you not figure this out? How can you not do this? It's so easy. Okay, give me a minute. I'll just change. It's fine. It's real hard, right? Damn, bro, they should pay me. Yeah. So everybody's protesting and shit too? You think all of this happened because Johnny's Somali? Well, we don't know that that's not the reason. So there's a good possibility it could have something to do with it.
The president announced this martial law very late. It's in the middle of the night over there in South Korea right now. The intent to quash dissent, but the images we're seeing coming out of South Korea is not that. You are seeing an escalatory, tense situation there outside of the government building. I want to go to Mike Valeria to bring us there on the scene with what is unfolding, Mike.
Well, Rahul, we now have this ban or this declaration of martial law.
Do you think maybe troops in North Korea and Russia or something what triggered him to declare martial law? He's afraid to lose power. I don't think anybody really knows. Like, you can, in my opinion, I bet this is probably a smokescreen for something that he's trying to do that he probably shouldn't be doing. That's what I assume, because that's the only thing that would make sense to me as like a logical person.
that has been overturned by Parliament. Will Ripley, our colleague in Taipei, was just saying it should take a simple majority of Parliament to overturn this, and that has happened within the past 2 to 3 minutes. Applause breaking out in the National Assembly. We're headed there now.
Big surprise.
But certainly a feeling of palpable apprehension of demonstrators trying to get to the National Assembly. We're seeing members of the military, law enforcement in their green camouflaged helmets and uniforms. And we had reports that these members of law enforcement were trying to stop members of the National Assembly from coming into the building to overturn this declaration of martial law. But enough members managed
That's smart. Yeah, because you have the people, like, you can't have a vote if they can't get in the building. So you just don't let them in the building. You wait till everybody's out of the building, and then you change the rules, and then you don't want anybody back in the building and change it back. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, there we go.
Get in, again, 1:06 a.m. here in Seoul, and members of the National Assembly have overturned martial law in South Korea minutes ago. So now the question is, what does South Korea's president do now that lawmakers have overturned?
I mean, you could say sorry. Like, look. I mean, it is what it is. Guys, I mean, you know. Yeah, oops. It's my bad.
Martial law in South Korea across the country. He did this as a way to reclaim power. He is a very weak president. His approval ratings hovering in the upper 20%.
Damn.
Conservative figure.
20%? Why is everybody hate? Oh, damn, that sucks.
In this country for decades as a strong prosecutor, as somebody who has taken a strong stance against North Korea and aggression coming from north of the DMZ. And he did this, as far as we can tell, because there have been unending calls to impeach him, to remove him from office.
Yeah. So it's like people want to get you. Yeah, yeah. But it's like, how did you think this was like? There's no way he actually thought this was going to work, right? I mean, there's no way that would work.
He said in an address to the nation a few hours ago that this was his way of strengthening control of government, which he said has been paralyzed by these calls for his impeachment and calls to impeach other members of the government, heads of ministries that he installed as well. So the question is, how does the president respond? How does law enforcement and members of the military respond? I can tell you that we have early reports of law enforcement starting to pull back from the building. And you can see on the screen more and more people getting into the National Assembly. So we're going to see if this holds. But again, in a dramatic tableau, lawmakers in Seoul just voted to overturn martial law with applause ringing out throughout the building.
Yeah, obviously.
Really remarkable how quickly all of this is unfolding. Mike, my understanding...
I think that, like, probably for South Koreans, there's, like, a huge... Like, this probably matters a lot more for them. Like, because, I mean, we never had something like this happen here, really. But... And I think the U.S. probably be kind of the same, but I could see places in Europe that probably wouldn't have this same type of reaction, maybe. I don't know. But I think with South Korea, it's especially poignant because of North Korea. Because, like, they live right below a group of people who basically are them, but there's effectively like a, big wall, and they're stuck over there. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's really where I bet that's probably what stresses them out a lot. That's why they would react so negatively to this.
Is you were there, you're on the phone with us. Just help us understand what's happening there right now outside of that building. Obviously, we see the video, but you're able to see the full picture. So bring us there.
Yeah, we're on our way there. We're in our bureau in the center of the city, because we weren't sure if we were going to be able to have a signal, if it was safe for us to broadcast. But, the center of gravity of what is happening is at the national.
See, what's weird to me is like I'm from America, so like if I see somebody like this, it's like, yeah, he's probably on fentanyl or something. But like apparently in Korea, there aren't as many zombies over there. So like this is probably something that happened like due to this event specifically. Yeah, anytime, because yeah, there's
happening is at the National Assembly building. But
weird.
I can tell you, throughout the streets where we are in the center of Seoul right now, and as you move throughout the city, there are police officers on the phone who are wondering what is going on, who are calling their captains.
Yeah.
You can overhear them in Korean saying, what are we doing? What is happening right now? There are people who are leaving bars, who are leaving restaurants, calling their moms, calling their dads, calling their children, saying, I'm coming home right now. This has not happened within the 21st century, a declaration of martial law.
Yeah.
Something that remains in memories of people from the 1980s when South Korea was still under a military dictatorship. So people are bracing for what the president, Yoon Suk-yeol, could do now and what orders he will give the military and law enforcement, and will they be heeded? Will those orders be heeded now that
North Korea could invade soon? They're not going to invade. If North Korea invaded, literally everybody would help South Korea. Nobody wants to deal with North Korea. Also, I think a lot of North Korea's power is probably totally artificial. Because like they don't really have much, I don't think they have much of an economy. Like they probably don't have anything that they're really doing. And so I couldn't really see it happen. I bet it's probably a shithole over there.
The government, the parliament, the National Assembly has voted to overturn
the
president's declaration that he is in charge. Martial law reigns. Anybody can be arrested without a warrant. That has just been overturned minutes ago.
The question, as you point out, though, is the practical effect, right? Will the president comply with this? Will Ripley, I want to go back to you because that is a key question now. The impact that this vote there in Parliament, this overnight vote, will have on the martial law declaration. As far as I know, we haven't heard from the president again.
Essentially, this boils down to how much support President Yoon has from the military itself, and would the military honor this vote in Parliament where people had to wrangle themselves into the building. But as far as we know at this point, there were no shots fired. This was not something that turned into what could have been an absolutely brutal and horrific moment for this democracy, a life-altering moment for this democracy. But that hasn't happened. They pushed their way to the building, they voted, and now they've overturned it. So does President Yoon have the support of the military to try to keep this thing going? But again, keeping in mind just how deeply unpopular he is, there's been the perception by some in South Korea that he's used this North Korean issue, even issuing nationwide alerts that people felt were gratuitous for things like a North Korean, missile launch test, to try to scare people, to try to rally people behind his agenda, a deeply unpopular agenda that is being essentially stomped out at every opportunity by the opposition in Parliament. And he's grown so frustrated, apparently so paranoid, thinking that North Korean agents have somehow infiltrated the South Korean Parliament and are acting through his opposition to try to...
I mean, maybe that's happening. I don't know. I feel like it's probably not happening, but maybe. Yeah. They have. If I was North Korea, I'd be trying to do that.
Undermine his agenda.
That's just me.
But the fact that he would surprise even members of his inner circle with this, and to make this announcement in an unexpected way, declare martial law, throw his nation into chaos at a time where there is already so much uncertainty in the world, it raises a lot of questions about his mindset at this moment, what he's thinking, what is his plan B now that this has been overturned? Had he thought about this? And these are all questions that we don't know the answer to. We have to literally sit back and watch this completely unexpected, out of left field curveball that has been thrown our way in South Korea. Of all the things happening and brewing in the world, the story I was working on all day about North Korea and what's going on with them and with Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong Yoon. Definitely didn't expect Pamela to be here talking with you about this tonight after midnight here in Taipei.
And I certainly didn't expect to be leading the show with this. And it is the ultimate curveball. And we were just talking about this, MJ Lee, just what a shock this is for our viewers just turning in. You know, look, this is a vibrant democracy in South Korea. This is the first time a president of South Korea has declared martial law in the democratic era. And now the parliament voted to overturn that. But it is an extraordinary move, and it's something that Americans should be paying attention to. What is President Biden saying right now?
Yeah, as we were discussing before, when I saw these headlines coming into my inbox, I was completely stunned. I mean, it is so extraordinary what we have seen over the last few hours in South Korea. As you pointed out, martial law has not existed in South Korea since the 1980s. I was born there in the very last year that there was a military dictatorship in the country, right before there was the first democratic presidential election that elected Roh Tae-woo at the time. I think Mike was making this point before, for people in my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation, the kinds of scenes we are seeing and the headlines that we are talking about, that is not history for them. They lived through these.
That's probably why people got so upset about this too over there. Yeah. Johnny Somali is still there? I guess so, yeah.
Moments of upheaval and violence when they were growing up. So I cannot imagine how shocking this must be for the folks actually in the country, and to have this come out in an unplanned address practically in the middle of the night. None of this was expected. As for the reaction from here in Washington, obviously the president is not here. President Biden is traveling in Angola right now. We have heard basically nothing from the president himself so far. All we have right now is a statement, actually just a sentence from a National Security Council spokesperson saying the administration is in contact with the ROK government and is monitoring the situation closely. I've asked the White House, well, at some point, are we going to hear from the president?
No, of course not.
Are we going to get a sense of what his reaction is to this, so that we have a better sense of what position the United States government is going to take as all of these scenes are unfolding? And I do think we should talk about the Biden-Yoon relationship and the U.S.-South Korea relationship. This is a president, as you know, who has made real efforts to build up and foster and strengthen the U.S.'s alliances with countries like South Korea and Japan. In 2022, when he made his first trip as president to Asia, he visited Korea and Japan. Last year, you might recall that he hosted Yoon Suk-yeol for a state visit at the White House, really rolling out the red carpet for this president, this South Korean president that just did something so unprecedented. You would think this would be a good moment for the president and this administration to really weigh in. So far, nothing yet.
Damn, they broke the windows too. Holy shit. Yeah, this is nuts, man. Like, I wonder what's going to happen. Wow. CNN's downplaying this. They lie. War is coming. I don't know about that, bro. Like, that's a lot. Yeah, as long as the government is a U.S. ally and aligns with the U.S., they don't care. South Korea on January 6th, no joke. I mean, I think you're kind of right. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Oh, man. That's crazy. Wow. And president accused the opposing party of being North Korean spies, goes on TV to mandate martial law. Parliament calls a vote. Military is summoned by the president, but political aides block them at the door. Oh, my God. Holy shit. They vote unanimously 109 after 109 to stop martial law. President must accept this or be deemed illegitimate. Man, it is a bad day to be him, huh? Yeah, it's really a bad day. Barricade civilian aids to politicians, keep military out so it could stop martial law from the president. Holy shit. God damn. Wow. Well, it's 190 after 300. I don't know, but either way, it's the majority. Watching South Korea revolt against martial law is so badass. Woman's a legend. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is. Yeah, this is insane. South Korea is a failed state? Well, I don't know about that. What the fuck, man? Wait, this is the guy? That doesn't seem like... Yeah, he just talking. Who cares? After all, why not? Why shouldn't I do it? Yeah, I guess so, man. Holy fuck. But yeah, I mean, martial law, big L, right? Absolute idiot. He's going down the drain. I think so too. I feel like, I mean, I don't think he's a stupid person. Like, as I said, I feel like if you're a head of state, you're not stupid. Like, I understand, like, this is a popular, like, Redditor opinion that, like, I'm smarter than these people that literally run the entire countries. You're not. You're not. Okay? Like, I understand you might think you are. You're not. So, when I see a person that's like that, I always assume that there's something else that's going on, right? Yeah, but smart people can be delusional. I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right. I mean, there's always things like that can happen. But I generally don't assume that people are that incompetent. That's what doesn't make sense to me. But who knows? You overestimate how many stupid narcissists excel at politics? I don't think that they do. I think that smart narcissists do. Because the stupid ones lose.